Hello everybody, Nerd in Texoma, back with another video. I guess you'd say this is a review video, kind of like what I'm doing over on the Constar Review channel, but this is not Constar related. This is official Star Trek related, and I just got done watching the final season of Star Trek Discovery. Well, it's been a ride. I don't want to hear any Discovery hate on this video. Constructive criticism? Great. That's what I do over on Constar Reviews. That's what I'd like to hear on this video. I do have quite a bit to say about this season in particular and Discovery as a whole. On the one hand, I think the writing and the pacing was getting better in every season of Discovery since they did the tongue-tiedness, since they did the time jump at the end of season 2 to the beginning of season 3. Now, some of the storylines were not exactly the best. I mean, the season 3 story arc of the season with the burn, I think originally it was a good idea. It was interesting, what happened, what caused the burn, what caused all the dilithium to go inert and cause the destruction of so many starships. The resolution of that fell flat, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand, the sorrow of the child, and I forget his name right now, the Kelpian child who cried out and caused a galaxy-wide, or at least quadrants-wide explosion of dilithium. That, it, in my opinion, would have been better explained as if, since his parents were scientists already, if he had cried out and lashed out in anger or sorrow at his parents' death and had accidentally hit a piece of equipment, which caused some signal which triggered the burn, that would have made a little bit more sense. That would have been, in my opinion, a still weak explanation for it, but better than just him screaming out in sorrow and the sound of his cries and screams was what triggered it galaxy-wide, or like I say, at least quadrants-wide. That didn't ring true with me. The 4th season with the 10C was getting better. I don't really have many major complaints on that. It was progressing. 5th season, Main storyline wise, again, it was building on itself. It was getting better. Yes, there were some episodes where they needed a little bit of help, in my opinion. Could some of it been revamped to make the storyline a little bit tighter, a little bit neater? Yes. But they had to fill a 10 episode season. Now, I understand this was originally filmed to be just another season, and they had to come back last minute and film some additional scenes to make it the series ender. I think most of those scenes were very well written and put together. You couldn't really tell that they were not original, for the storyline as it was originally written. With the exception of, jumping ahead to Admiral Burnham, the house with Book and everything like that, that even if you didn't know that wasn't original to the storyline, seemed a little bit added on. Not in a bad way, not necessarily negatively, but you can tell it was not originally in the plan of things. I do like and agree with some of the people that are saying, hey, the ending of Discovery really happened a couple years back with the short trek episode Calypso. I can see that. I can see that argument. And I really think it was cool on how they went back and redid things to include that into telling the story of Discovery. Seemed a little rushed because it's like, okay, presumably you've had the Discovery sitting in space dock for 30 years or so at least, just waiting around, not doing anything. Could have been less than that. I have no idea. I don't know for sure, because when Burnham and Book go off after Saru's wedding, it's not clearly noted how many more years the Discovery was in service in Starfleet. Could have been sitting around for that 30 years, and then Burnham's like, hey, COVID said I gotta do this, so Discovery, come on, you're gonna go sit over here for 1,000 more. Could have been that. Could have been, only a few years, a few months. I have no idea. They really didn't explain that. I guess they really don't need to, but it would be nice. Seeing the crew back on the bridge all together for that final scene, that was nice. That was a very touching bit. One main issue that I have is they didn't follow up on some things throughout the season. Now, granted, it may have been planned to touch on them in the sixth season when they didn't know that this would be the final season. I don't know. But the biggest issue, in my opinion, was in the first episode of this season. Fred. You tease us with a Soong-type android who looks like a young Data, and you take him away in the first episode? Come on, man. I mean, I have no idea. They could have put him into storage to later repair him when all the hunting for the progenitor's tech was finished, and reintroduce the character in the sixth season. I don't know. Unfortunately, none of us will ever truly know what the plan was for Fred. However, there's been recent news about the Starfleet Academy show confirming that it does take place in the 32nd century. So, technically, I guess you could say, it's a Discovery spin-off. Perfect example right there. Take the character of Fred, take him into Academy. Say there is a very promising Academy student who studies advanced cybernetics, AI systems, stuff like that, and for a special project, they try to repair Fred and actually succeed in that. Great storyline for the first season, I think, personally. Would open up the possibility of introducing the character back in the second season as a special advisor, or possibly Fred would choose to join Starfleet and the Federation and come back as an instructor of history in the second season. Because we all know that he dealt with and traded with the antiques as an independent trader. That was his main focus, was antique technology. Who better to teach about history and older things than somebody who studied it extensively as a trader? Perfect, easy example of how to utilize a character that got woefully underutilized and bring back something that I'm sure has sparked a lot of fans' interest in the character of Fred and frustrated a lot of fans because he was left unused. The character of Maul, I understand, at the end, she realized she couldn't bring Locke back. I think she had a little bit too easy of a turnaround or a, oh my gosh, you're totally right type of moment. With how stubborn she was throughout the rest of the season, and then just to go, oh, you're right. That, I think, was a little bit of bad writing right there. One interesting thing I think of, now I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I found it kind of funny. Possible Easter egg again. I don't know if it was intentional. But the final piece of the progenitor's tech to access it was that vault structure that was in a field between two black holes. If you look at the opening sequence of Lower Decks, the Cerritos is stuck in between the gravity well of two black holes. I'm not saying anything, but could this be the same area of space, the same two black holes that Discovery had to travel to where the progenitor's tech was? I don't know. Probably one of those questions, again, that will not be answered. On the whole, I wouldn't say this was the best season of Discovery. I'm not going to say it's the worst season of Discovery. It was a stronger season of Discovery. Out of all 5 seasons we got, I think this was one of the stronger ones. In my opinion, season 2 was the strongest one. Storyline, everything, from that. Now, I'm going to say season 2 was the best. I'm going to jump ahead and say season 4 would be the second best. Season 5 here would be the third best. Season 1 would be my 4th best season. And like I say, with the dropping of the ball and the, in my opinion, lackluster resolution of the burn, season 3 was the weakest. But hey, that's just my opinions. Let me know down in the comments what y'all thought of season 5, and if y'all agree with my ranking of the seasons. Maybe y'all agree, maybe y'all don't. Like I said, no Discovery hate, just constructive criticism on the show. Alright, y'all. See you next time. Nerd and Texoma. Bye for now. Hey y'all, Nerd and Texoma back with a quick little addition. Something else that kind of struck me and stuck out to me in the in season 5 of Discovery. Now I know this is the nerd in me, the nostalgia buff, I guess you would say. The scene where the crew of Discovery is in the lounge and there's a character playing the piano, I think they could have done a little bit of an Easter egg, a little bit of a nostalgia bite for those of us who remember about the 80s and 90s. There is a McDonald's character or spokesman or whatever called Mac Tonight, who's a big moon-headed man who is played by Doug Jones. This would have been a perfect little Easter egg, teaser, something if they would have had Saru playing the piano at this point, or if they could have gotten Doug Jones himself, out of Saru makeup to play the piano just in that scene, just as a little nod and throwback, in my opinion. Take it for what it is, a little addition that I didn't remember in the rest of the review, but I think would have been kind of neat. Put a picture up there and let y'all see what I mean. Alright, take it easy. Bye.